Oh, okay, here we go. Producer Tim says we got to get going.
Bonjour. Sports Center, Jay and Dan. Brought to you by Tim. You getting adjusted?
Yeah, just adjusting myself.
That's good. Hey, after a 2-month layoff, the Stanley Cup playoffs are back.
And game one went Monday, and the best news about that...
were you crying before the show?
I'm allergic to something, and I've got tears and other things coming out of my pores.
Okay. You were tearful because the return of hockey.
I was so tears of joy, really, for me, Dan. But the thing I'm most excited about is that in just a couple of weeks, we can shave these beards.
Sorry.
Game one was in Boston. Jordan Binnington facing Tuukka Rask. Patrick Maroon has words for him. He has 2 shutouts in his last 5 games. Tuukka Rask has been sensational in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs, but Braden Shen of Saskatoon has that to say. First goal of the Stanley Cup final, 1-0 St. Louis through 1. Did I mention it was St. Louis and Boston in the final? I don't know if I mentioned it. It's St. Louis and Boston in the final, and Vladimir Tarasenko has made it 2-0 St. Louis. They're on the road. By the way, St. Louis has never won a Stanley Cup final game. They've got 12 losses. They're 0-12. And the Enterprise Center in St. Louis was sold out with fans watching this one. TSN turning point time after Boston made it 2-1. Scramble in front of Binnington. Loses his stick. Puck leaves the zone. And play continues.
Not a shot on goal yet. Walk back in.
Now, on second look, Binnington just managed to pick up his stick before Charlie McAvoy scored seconds later, so we are tied at 2-2. And early in the third, Binnington of Richmond Hill, Ontario, loses his blocker and stick on that play with Brad Marchand. Marchand comes back and gives him a bump. For the NBC Sports Network, Sean Corrali gives Boston their first lead. Everyone was talking about this. Torrey Krug and David Perron battling in front of Rask. Krug loses his helmet. Perron goes for a change. Krug stays on the ice, goes all the way to the other end, and steamrolls Robert Thomas. Just destroys him. Final minutes, Zdeno Chara. He is 68 years old. Blocks a shot. Look at that. He only needed stitches. That's not gonna slow down Chara. He played for the Prince George Cougars. He's a tough character. Boston comes back from 2 goals down to win game 1 4-2. Boston has won 8 games in a row. Their 3rd longest run in a single postseason. St. Louis now 0-13 all-time in Cup final games, and Marchand now has 6 Cup final goals, 2 off Bobby Orr and Johnny Busick, for the most in Bruins playoff history. So deep. So the Bruins win a Cup final game for the first time ever when trailing by 2 goals and dominated the second half of game 1, not allowing a shot by the Blues for almost 13 minutes and outshooting them 18-3 in the second frame.
Aaron Sanchez, he needs to drink more milk or something because his fingernails are gibbled. My mom always said drinking milk made your nails stronger. No idea if that's true. Sanchez suffered another fingernail injury on Monday, second time in his last 3 starts where he had to be pulled from a game because of finger issues. This time, Sanchez suffered a right middle finger nail avulsion. By the way, do not Google image fingernail avulsion. It's when the nail gets torn away from the nail bed. Okay, so let's see how it goes.
Go on.
He was on the mound in Tampa. Loading the bases in the first. Sanchez induces the comebacker. A little shaky throw to first. Sanchez came out for the second, so the fingernail's still there. Runner on second. Sanchez gave up an RBI single back up the middle. Okay, so how's the finger? Oh, well. He's back out for the third, where his command was clearly off. That nail was hanging on by
I liken
the thread.
it to like
Gives up another base hit and then pulled after the third with that torn nail on his middle finger. In the fourth, Rowdy Tellez. Oh, boy! Kevin Kiermaier, he's not going to get. Yes, he did. At the wall, robs of an extra base hit.
Unbelievable.
Yoni Chirinos. Big fan. Jays dropped the series opener to Tampa. 20 seed Denis Shapovalov taking on Germany's Jan-Lennard Struff. Canadian made his French Open main draw debut last year, lost in the second round, on serve in the first set. Shapovalov shanks the backhand and tosses his racket. Shapovalov lost to Struff on clay in Monte Carlo earlier this year. Dropped the opening set in a tiebreak. In the second, Shapovalov down 4-3 facing break point. Sends Struff out wide with the serve. Puts the forehand wide. Shapovalov's lost 5 of his 7 matches since reaching the semis in Miami. Dropped the second set 6-3 in the third. Shapovalov's serve takes a weird bounce. It hit a ball girl in the face. Shapo's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, whatever. I'm fine. Tied at 3-0. Shapovalov, 6th double fault of the match. Led to another break. Shapovalov eliminated in straight sets, meaning there are no Canadian men left in the singles main draw.
For the most part, I've been playing some good matches, but, you know, you look at last week, I'm up 3-0 against Benoit Paire, and the guy turns it on, you know, plays unbelievable in the tiebreak, wins the match. This week, you know, I'm up a break, and he played some phenomenal tennis today. You know, obviously, I don't think it was my best match today, but I think my level was good enough today. I think I was playing pretty solid. But yeah, in the big points, it's just not going my way, and that's been the difference.
So strange playing on dirt. Our coverage of the French Open continues early Tuesday morning. We've got all the tennis you can handle.
We've got all the dirt tennis.
It gets real dirty. Coming up, despite advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time, Danny Green struggled all series against the Bucks. Does he have a solution for his slump? Raptor talk next. Did you know the Twins lead the majors in pretty much every offensive category? They're on pace for 324 home runs. That would shatter the record of 267. They're playing the Brewers. The second, 2 on for Byron. What?
Wow. Beautiful swing.
His 55th home run of May. Sorry, the 5th.
That would be unbelievable.
The 55th home run of May for the Twins. Ties the franchise record, 4-0 Twins in the 5th. Jeremy Jeffress. Look out!
And a shot. Oh, he caught it. Jeffress makes the play on a line.
Yeah, he makes the play.
To the mound.
And almost died.
Is hurt.
Oh.
Just the motion itself to make
Brewers
that
down
catch.
1 in the 7th. Lando Arcia up with 1 on, crushes 1 to left.
In the left field.
Milwaukee's 90th of the season, 4th best in the league.
And the Brew Crew.
The Brewers and the Twins' 6-game win streak.
San Diego, New York Yankees. The Padres' first trip to the Bronx since 2008. Canadian Josh Naylor was just 10 years old. Up in the second, RBI double, 3rd RBI of his career. It can make it 1-0 for your San Diego Padres. There's the speedy Brett Gardner, hitting .464 in his last 8 games. Bottom 2 Yankees down 2-1, smokes one deep to right, and this will curl around the foul pole for a home run. He was hitting sub-200 at the start of his run. He's now hitting .240, and he's given the Yanks the lead here. And then in the bottom of the 8th, it's not about sex, Gary. It's about trust. Gary Sanchez. Opposite field. Battle. That's gone. His first home run against the team not called the Orioles since May the 4th.
Win easily.
Speaking of footwear, a shoe company should really sponsor our walkover clock. Right? And then we could be wearing like their Skechers or something. Walk over here.
We could be like Joe Montana.
Yeah. Or Tony Romo. Skechers. The shoes my dad wears. Oh, jeez. Sorry. That's all out of order.
It's okay.
Just give me 1 second. 1 sec here. Okay. Ahead of their first NBA Finals appearance on Thursday against the Warriors, the Raptors are obviously hoping to get more out of Danny Green, who averaged just 3.5 points on 19% shooting against the Bucks. Hey, he's a veteran. He gets it.
There's nobody more frustrated or, more critical of themselves than the player that's actually going through it. And as much as I want to make shots, trust me, I know the fans are like, oh, you gotta, everybody, come on, Danny. I want to make shots, trust me, I'm trying. And it's hard not to think about it because everybody in the world's telling you, don't think about it. Everybody you come across, you keep shooting it. Trust me, I'm going to keep shooting. Don't think about it. I'm trying not to. You're not helping. So everybody's in my inbox. PSA, stop texting me. Don't think about it. Just keep shooting. I know that. Everybody I come across, you try not to think about it, keep shooting. I'm not second-guessing myself. Obviously, you want to do well. You want to play well. But we have an opportunity to make something special. Obviously, we made something happen, some history, some new history happen recently. But we have an opportunity to make some really good history happen here, make something special happen this year within the city. So I think guys are so excited about that opportunity and not really focusing or thinking about player pressure or finals pressure.
I don't even know who's picking against us. It don't really matter. Everyone has their own opinion, as always. For us, we just got to go out there and do our job. Regular season doesn't mean anything. This is they've been here before. We're here, but I think we got a very experienced and talented team. I think we're just focused on ourselves.
If Danny Green hits just 1 3, the roof's going to come off the place.
In game 1.
Yeah, just one. Just one. If he hit 2.
Nick Nurse says OG Anunoby is 10 days away from being able to play. He's been out, oh, my cards are out of order. Since April the 12th following an appendectomy. This is interesting. According to Darren Ravel, he's the sports money guy.
Yeah.
A fan paid over $76,000 for a pair of courtside seats to Game 1 at Scotiabank Arena. $76,000. That's what we pay our interns.
We checked, and the cheapest ticket to just get in the door, $850 right now.
Raptors 1-point favorites in Game 1. Heavy favorites to lose this series.
The Warriors, they're dealing with a couple of key injuries ahead of the finals. Kevin Durant officially ruled out for Game 1. Still dealing with that injured calf. That happened 3 weeks ago, that injury. And Boogie Cousins now questionable for the series opener. He's been out with an injured quad. And that's been since the first round. It was a good one, though.
I want nothing but dad jokes from Steve Kerr.
The band Smash Mouth started a beef with Drake on Twitter. The San Jose-based band tweeted, "Yo, Drake, when the ball's in play, sit the F down. That ain't gonna fly in Oakland." Smash Mouth has made more news for themselves on Twitter than they ever did as a band.
I think they have a pretty lucrative corporate rock star life.
Well, if you want to see them, they're playing June 15th in Corbin, Kentucky.
Of course, that's home of Corbin Burnson of LA Law fame. Now, if you've been attacked by a 90s rock group like Drake has, don't worry. Allow us to represent you.
Have you been insulted by a 90s band? Have recording artists like Smash Mouth slandered your actions on the internet? Don't let somebody else use you to stay relevant. Eject their CD and call the Double O'Tourneys at 555-223-2263. That's 555-BAD-BAND. If a music group from the 90s has disrespected you, you could be entitled to not as much money as we could have gotten you in the 90s, but still. Call now if you've been tweeted at by Goo Goo Dolls, Sugar Ray, Better Than Ezra, Spin Doctors, Matchbox 20, Lou Bega, The Moffats, Bush or Bush X, Hootie and or The Blowfish, any band featured on Big Shiny Tunes, and Coolio. Let the Double O'Tourneys be the real all-stars. Call now.
Big Shiny Tunes. That's due for a comeback.
I think they still put them out.
CDs due for a comeback as well. When we come back, Rafa Nadal's biggest obstacle wasn't his first-round opponent at the French Open. It was a Big Shiny Tunes CD. To Paris, Rafa Nadal beginning his quest for a 12th French Open title facing Yannick Hanfmann. Wimbledon 2017. Rafa in the tunnel, trying to get limber, under the frame, and bonks his head. He'd laugh it off.
Rafa just did it.
Now we go to Monday.
Wow.
Head bonkers.
Oh,
It's the camera.
He didn't see that coming.
oh, that would hurt.
Yeah, that would hurt. Didn't affect him in any way. He's already up 5-2 in the first set. Check this drop shot out. What?
Wonderful tennis from both men.
Rafa would break Hanfmann 6 times in the match. He dropped just 3 games combined in the first 2 sets. Puts away the volley right there. Improves his record at Roland Garros to 87-2. Novak Djokovic opening his run at a 4th straight major title, facing Hubert Hurkacz of Polska. First set, Djokovic, great passing shot. He has never lost in the first round at Roland Garros. Takes the opening set 6-4. That's always funny, that slowed down shot when you're going, I can't do it. Djokovic went up an early break in the second, then a 3-1. Catching up the drop shot, and yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Won the French Open back in 2016. Wins in straight sets in the first round here.
Difficult for Djokovic.
The Jennies. Kevin Kiermaier. His manager said if a ball stays in the park, he's probably going to catch it. And that one stayed in the park. And he caught it. Robbing Roddy Tellez.
Mets and Doyers, 2 on. Todd Frazier at the dish. Base it to right. Michael Conforto rounding third. Cody Bellinger. What a strike. Wow. Beautiful throw by Bellinger, who seems to be able to do it all.
Cubs and Astros. Howard Almora, ground ball to third. Yuli Gurriel. Laser. Nice throw by Gurriel.
If this next Janny isn't the highlight of the night, I don't. How could it not be? Jeremy Jeffress snares the comebacker off the bat of Williams Astudillo.
Jeremy is hurt.
Actually, had to be looked at by the trainer. Looked to have tweaked his leg or knee while falling back, making that catch.
Saw this one earlier. Mookie Betts.
Betts coming hard.
Oh, what a catch. I guess during this game they're chanting "Let's go Bruins" the whole game.
Speaking of those Bruins, David Pastrnak, not a great turnover. Vladimir Tarasenko's going to bury it. In the end, though, Boston's the bet from St. Louis.
Royals and White Sox were suspended in the 5th for rain, but Chicago second baseman Yolmer Sanchez, he's like, I had to show up for work. I might as well.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
I believe that was a Miami Sound Machine song.
And that was also a ruling by the judge on Bart Simpson. He just said, boys will be boys.
Flashdance reference there. Mets Dodgers. Cody Bellinger again. Look at this throw to get Carlos Gomez trying to tag up from second to third. Bellinger just has a cannon out there.
Amazing. And they have said that
Before we get to the plays of the week, it's time for our latest segment. How do I get to the spa? With Robert Kraft.
Yeah, so you got to go down to 7th Street and take a left. Should be right there.
Okay, so just so that we're clear, you're sure that A, this place is in a strip mall, B, it is not nice, and C, there are no cameras. Okay, that sounds perfect.
Great, man.
Thanks for watching. How do I get to the spa? Marv Albert on the call there.
I saw a video on Monday that I hadn't seen all weekend. The Raptors brought the trophy around the concourse of the arena. I'd never seen that
I
before.
haven't seen that video. Tim, let's go to that now.
Tim doesn't have it.
I wish we had a laugh track for that. Bill Buckner has passed away at the age of 69 after a bout with dementia. Buckner's 22 seasons in the majors were overshadowed by his infamous fielding error in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series against the New York Mets. But Buckner was one of the most prolific hitters of his era, amassing more than 2,700 hits during his career, second only to Pete Rose for the most hits during the 70s and 80s. Following Boston's World Series win in 2007, Buckner was invited to their home opener in 2008 to throw out the first pitch. He was given a standing ovation by the Fenway fans. Bill Buckner passes away at the age of 69.
We had this debate the other day here on set before the show. If Kawhi Leonard left Toronto after just this one season, no matter what the Raptors do the rest of the way, I think Raptors fans would be okay. They'd be sad, but they'd be okay with it because they would know that Kawhi gave the team everything he had. 1 year with Kawhi is way better than no years with Kawhi. How big is his impact on the Raptors? You need only look at the top 10 plays from the Raps playoff run, where Kawhi is responsible for 7 of the 10, with number 1 being, yeah, you know. First round, Game 5. Kyle Lowry finds a streaking Kawhi. Kawhi! Catches, shields, slams. All in one motion. That's why they call him the Claw. His hands are so big.
Pascal Siakam. From the baseline, narrated by the legendary Marv Albert, the NBA's most improved player nominee.
East semis, Game 5. With 2 screens set for Leonard, he rises, throws down. Kawhi Leonard indeed.
Fred VanVleet, new dad, denied at the rim by Joel Embiid, but then takes it out of Ben Simmons' hands, gives it back to Serge Ibaka. Does Kyle Lowry. And Ibaka's going to get the floater to fall.
Marc Gasol, perfect pass to Kawhi. Left-handed.
Just a head nod. Look, go.
Goes over the Greek freak, or B-side. He goes past him.
Kyle Lowry to Ibaka. Serge Ibaka.
Raptors by 1 late in the 4th. East semi, Game 4. Kawhi, fadeaway 3, seals it. Toronto regained home court advantage thanks to that one.
Next game, Kawhi victimizes Embiid again. Oh, Joel Embiid will be remembering that one through his tears.
Back comes Middleton, goes behind the back and lost it. Lowry with the steal. He has Giannis behind him, gets to Leonard. He stopped a facial by Kawhi Leonard.
The building can feel it in a closeout game for the Toronto Raptors.
The steal by Lowry and the exclamation point here. And Drake, the reaction.
Kawhi up top, looks at the clock, turns the corner for the win.
Got it! Kawhi Leonard with the game winner!
Game series. Toronto has won.
And for the second time in franchise history, the Toronto Raptors are headed to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's where that he stay thing started on the social media. We were all over that today, hashtagging pictures and such.
That's a thing?
I don't know. So just a reminder, On TSN, we have games 2, 4, and 6 of the NBA Finals, if it does go to 6, because you're predicting a Raptors sweep.
No, I said Raptors in 6.
A Raptors in 6. So you'll see that clincher when the Raptors win the NBA title right here on TSN.
And we're on after every single game.
After every single game, you'll see our show. So I guess we're the real winners.
The JN podcast. We taped a brand new one. We had Jack Armstrong on.
Yeah.
That call got cut short because of cell phone problems.
It was so good, we'll leave you wanting more.
That's right. It will.
It's the worst play of the day. J.D. Martinez of the Red Sox opposite field. Crank bounces off the wall, off Oscar Mercado's glove, and out for a home run. Watch it again. Wall glove home run. That is really something.
Highlight of the night also happens in the outfield. This one.
This is pretty amazing.
This one does not leave the park. You ever been to St. Pete, Clearwater?
I have not.
Supposedly it's America's #1 beach.
I will never go there. It's time to talk about what we messed up. I said we'd be up after every game of the NBA Finals, our show, but we won't be up after Game 4 next Friday because we're not.
Yeah, we don't work Friday.
We don't work Friday night.
No chance.
Not happening. Last time they did a Big Shiny Tunes CD, 2009. It was Big Shiny Tunes 14.
Okay. Who was on that one?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. You guys want to look that up while I tell everybody that Green Day was on it?
Billy Talent?
Billy Talent.
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
Nickelback?
Arkells, our buddies. Byron Buxton doesn't have 55 home runs. You
in the
said
month.
That.
Yeah.
In the month of May. And you couldn't pronounce Bucks in our first what we call bumper when we're throwing to break. Indochino makes our clothes. Go check them out.
I think I said Vox.
I think you said something else.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How's that beard holding up for you?
Doing pretty good.